Good evening to all watching in Australia, and also a very good morning to those in the United States and around the world. It is a pleasure to welcome you to our broadcast of the first ever grand final of the IFCPF Women's World Cup, where the CommBank Paramatildas will be taking on the United States of America. The two strongest teams so far in this tournament. The United States are in with perhaps the upper hand, having won their group stage game against the Australians 4-0. However, after a day of rest and no doubt some tactical analysis from head coach Kelly Sturton and her team, today's result is far from inevitable. With a World Cup gold medal on the line, anything can happen. Taking you through the game today will be myself, Taryn Heddo. Alongside me, I have Pararu's legend, Chris Pine, and also fan favourite, Anne O'Dong. Chris, as a long-time Pararu, can you talk us through your emotions going into this one?
I'm buzzing, Taryn. I'm absolutely buzzing. This is for not only me, but for everyone in and around the para football movement. This is a monumental evening. It's one of, I've had some pretty good moments in football, but this is up there. This is an absolute honour. So yeah, pretty excited. I think, Taryn, is the way I'm going to say that I currently am.
Of course, I'm sure it's an emotional day for everyone involved in CP football in the country, and I'm sure also in the United States as well, but including Pararu's past and present. The current Pararu squad, actually including one of Talia Blanchard's sporting heroes in Taj Lynch, did send in a video for good luck, which you can view on the Paramatildas social media, as we get ready to kick off here. The referees, Karen Apt and Igor Montero, ready to get us underway. The Paramatildas in their home kit of green and gold, going from right to left on your screen. As we await kickoff here, and the United States have made one change, bringing in Catherine Rennick to take over captaincy duties from Annie Wickett. Now, Catherine Rennick has only started one game in the tournament, but don't be mistaken in thinking that the US have lost firepower there. She actually scored 6 goals in that game. And what can we expect from the United States tonight?
Just wait for the kickoff to go, which it looks like the United States are ready to get this final underway, which they have. Look, Taryn, I'm expecting the United States to be full of confidence, considering
the Paramatildas on the attack right away here. Oh, apologies, Anne. I thought we were seeing another goal in the first 10 seconds of a game there. That would have been good from an Australian perspective. Ball launched into the box by Eloise Northam onto the head of Lainey Harrison, but out for a United States throw.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to be full of confidence, considering that they had the 4-0 result over the CommBank Paramatildas, as they are on the march. It is a good start for them once again after the group stage match. They started this positively. So I expect the Paramatildas to be able to come out strong, and I expect the US to probably grow into this match, and we'll see how it goes.
No doubt, as I'm sure that the coaching staff now, they've played each other once. The coaching staff from both teams will have that knowledge of each other now and be able to adjust and make changes, as Australia have really come out of the blocks here, pressing nice and high, and we have an opportunity here for a long throw into the box from captain Eloise Northam. These have been deadly so far this tournament. She launches it into the penalty area, and very well defended by the United States, who are now on the break here. Out to the right-hand side. Can the United States player reel it in? She does very well. Tries to cross it into the box. Well defended. And a long shot over the crossbar. And last game, you mentioned that we really did miss that combination between Eloise Northam and Georgia Bykoff, and we've seen it already on display here, the two co-captains. How do you see that playing out today? Do you see that improving the chances of a good result for the Paramatildas?
I do, Taryn. I think the combination between the two players gives a little bit of stability defensively. As I said last time, the loss of Eloise meant Georgia had to stay back home a little bit more and couldn't control the midfield as she had done so in the opening couple of matches. And you can already see Eloise and Talia Blanchard in defence. They've got had a good partnership throughout this whole tournament, and you can see now Australia being able to play in more advanced spaces up the park as Eloise with another long throw and another uh, throw in for Australia in a deep position.
The ball has pretty much lived in the United States half so far in this game. Still early days. Another throw, launch into the penalty area. That's Bykoff on the ball! And just over the bar, Georgia Bykoff. 13 goals already in this tournament, Georgia Bykoff. And unfortunately, that time she just couldn't control the ball and hit it over the bar. As the United States on the ball once again, looking to exploit that right-hand side and out for a corner. Now, just to take you through the starting five for the Paramatildas, it is a familiar starting five that we've seen most games throughout the tournament. Number 10, Georgia Bykoff. Number 7, Eloise Northam, as the United States have the corner, but goalkeeper Caitlin Smith comes out to collect. Let's hope that's not a serious issue there. So I'll continue going through the lineup. So number 6, Caitlin Smith, who is on the ball there, is the Paramatilda starting goalkeeper. Number 5, Lainey Harrison. And number 3, Talia Blanchard, who has often been the deepest defender for the Paramatildas and has done that job with aplomb. Bykoff on the ball here. Another driving run through the midfield, but into the grateful hands of United States goalkeeper Emily Lauritsen. She rolls the ball out to midfield. And the United States on the attack here. And another shot. And well kept again there by Caitlin Smith.
Piney, I've got to say that it's really a promising start from the CommBank Paramatildas. I've liked how they've been pressing the United States high up this park. I also like how they've been really occupying the midfield spaces a lot better than they did in that first game. And I think Kelly was speaking about it, how they learned a lot of lessons in relation to this game. And you can see that they're already starting to deploy a little bit more of that. And one of those is watching Caitlin Smith actually stand a little bit higher up the park against that player who was parked on her last time round.
Yeah, and I really love the positioning of Blanchard too because she's sitting just in front and leaving that to Caitlin. So I'm very excited. They've obviously watched it, and that was how our midfield was breaking down last time. So very excited by their lineup today or over there. Certainly tonight back here, but today over there.
Eloise Northam with the long throw here. Launched into the box once more. Another opportunity to whip it in. And just over the crossbar that time.
We're looking dangerous, Taryn. Very dangerous. And we've almost got a high press here.
Yeah, the Paramatildas have been much more effective today than what we saw on Sunday at boxing the US in. It seems like, Piney, one of the things that you pointed out in the last game where the number 2 for the United States, Rebecca Ostrander, was sitting and marking goalkeeper Caitlin Smith. She still seems to be doing that, but you can see that Talia Blanchard has actually come further forward and is getting involved in the play, as you suggested, as the Paramatildas on the attack once more. And so what we're seeing is it seems to be a sort of 4v3 now on the park, because we're trusting that goalkeeper Caitlin Smith can negate that United States player.
I trust Caitlin Smith with my house. So I'm certainly going to trust her to mark their striker. So I love the way, I love the coaching, I love the technique, and I love the counter technique from game to game as well, because they're getting no love putting balls through to their striker. They're not hitting the mark, and that's really good stuff. It's a really, really, really positive start from us, because now they've got to make the changes instead of the other way around.
Indeed, Coach Kelly Sturton for the Paramatildas winning the early tactical battle here. And you can see the impact that that's having. Talia Blanchard there able to get on the ball up to Eloise Northam on the edge of the penalty area, although blocked away. And the Paramatildas look to recycle possession through Bykoff on the right-hand side. A shot! And into the side netting there from Georgia Bykoff.
Oh, but that's fantastic play from the CommBank Paramatildas. That's what they weren't doing in that first game. That was a really strong passage of play, stringing some passes together and really working their way up the pitch. Great to see as they take a short corner and just couldn't control it. But Piney, that's what we were calling out for in that game, to string some passes together. And this time round, they're starting to do it much more confidently, and really loving the tactical change from the CommBank Paramatildas for this final.
Oh, it's very exciting, isn't it? Because you can see it paying dividends.
Shot on the edge of the area here. And it looks like it's just gone wide. Apologies if you have been tuning in as a regular viewer of the World Cup. You will know that we are at the tender mercies of the AI camera over in Salou in Spain. So not 100% sure what happened there, but it looked like it was just wide from Georgia Bykoff.
That's gold, Taryn.
It is unfortunate, but unfortunately those are some of the technical issues that we must grapple as the Paramatildas work the ball further up the field and look to launch the ball into the box once more. Onto Georgia Bykoff, but well defended again by the United States, and they can break through the midfield here. This was a feature of their game on Sunday, being able to win the ball back and break.
That was great tracking back from Lainey Harrison there. She had to, because that was almost going to be a 2v1 situation, but she really did the work there, and that's much better defensive shape for the CommBank Paramatildas as they look to actually stifle some of that counter-attacking play from the United States.
They've certainly done their homework, the CommBank Paramatildas, as we see the ball going out for a goal kick here. We seem to be winning the midfield battle here. There seems to be a lot more passes being strung together. I think one of the things that you said, Piney, on Sunday was the Paramatildas were playing too direct, were almost victims of their success in the previous games where that had worked so well. And then against the United States, who are a little bit smarter, a little bit stronger, were able to completely nullify that threat. And in this game, it seems to have been identified that's one of the areas that the CommBank Paramatildas went wrong on Sunday, and they seem to have really rectified that.
Yeah, we're bossing the midfield at the moment. I like the two strikers up high, pressing them, because it just doesn't give them room to move.
And I think what it also speaks to is, and this is going to be the future of para football for women, is really learning from analysis, and that's only going to get better with a tight tackle there on Eloise Northam. It's really only going to get better, and this is what I like to see, the tactical battle between these two sides, the two stronger sides in the competition.
Absolutely, as a speculative long shot there from the United States, but has gone out for a goal kick. If you're just tuning into the stream for the first time, we are just ticking into the 12th minute of this game. A reminder that Halves are 25 minutes long plus stoppages, and the scores are still locked at 0-0 here in the first ever IFCPF Women's World Cup final, as the United States have a throw-in here. If this is your first time watching CP football, you'll notice that throw was rolled in, one of the few rule changes that we do see in CP football, although it looks like we do have an issue down in back play.
It's Georgia, Taryn.
That's Georgia Bykoff there, just needing to receive some medical attention. And it looks like drinks will be taken. She's up and about. She's up on her feet. That's very good news for the Paramatildas. And we're halfway through the first half now. How have you seen the game so far?
I think it's been a great start for the CommBank Paramatildas. They've really controlled the play, they've controlled the tempo of the game, and it's been fantastic to see that it's actually being played where they want it to be played, which is in their half. I think the passing has been much better this game. They've been able to connect, they've been able to build up play and build up phases of play, which they weren't able to do in that first match. So it's nice to see that they've been able to move around a little bit and keep their shape. So they've not really let the United States into the game. The one thing I would love to see is a goal. You just want that reward for the early dominance, because to get hit on that sucker or on that counter attack, that could be really devastating when you've really controlled most of the opening minutes of this match.
Yeah, that's spot on, Anne. It's now very important that we start to consolidate some of this possession, some of this, and make a move on the scorecard, because you can never trust that it's just gonna stay 0-0 for the entirety of the game, especially with the Americans around.
As any final is, it's a tense start. That first goal means so much. I'm sure the players must be so nervous. Chris, you've played in so many games for your country, and that feeling, as a speculative long shot comes in from Bykoff there. She is up and about and looks okay to go. How do you think that nerves come into this now, and how important is that first goal? As we win the ball back in midfield here, Georgia Bykoff, very well saved. This United States keeper, Emily Lauritsen, looks so strong. But Chris, talk us through the emotions. How much would that have meant if that had found the back of the net there for the Australians?
Oh, honestly, that would have meant everything as we try another ball through the midfield. Listen, the first 5 minutes you're purely running on adrenaline, and it's after those first 5 minutes that you start to come down and you start to think about playing your game, and it's really important that Georgia is really big out there and starts to direct the team around, because we're as they take the corner.
Oh, that was a fantastic corner there. You could see Katarina Guimaraes on the corner, the top goal scorer so far for the United States. Obviously a rehearsed corner routine there, but the Paramatildas able to keep it out.
While we're getting ready for...
Sorry, I'd like to see them a bit wider. Yes, that's Eloise Northam must have been listening, because we really want that width from the back, and then we can drag them.
That's very
out into those places
well.
They don't want to be.
That was very well defended there from birthday girl Talia Blanchard, 22 today. The United States come forward with it once more. She's beaten her player here in a shot, but the safe hands of Caitlin Smith. How often have we said this throughout the tournament? And then that boot, and that must, judging by the reactions of the players and the coaching staff there, that must have gone close. Again, we can only apologise for the AI camera not quite being fast enough for Caitlin Smith's boot, as we see another break in play here. And it looks like the tactics that the United States were using previously, by, again, having a player marking Caitlin Smith has just been completely negated. She's pretty much played out of the game here as we see the ball in the hands of Caitlin Smith once more.
Piney mentioned it earlier. Piney mentioned it earlier. It's actually becoming a tactical advantage now. When in the last game it was seemed to be much more of a hindrance, and with the numerical advantage in the game, in the numerical advantage in the midfield, you're seeing a lot more space for the CommBank Paramatildas to actually work into. And so far, they've utilised it really, really well. But I think the other part is also the close and tight marking that all the girls have been deploying in this game, as we saw a little bit earlier with Talia Blanchard, some really close checking and close marking to not give them the time on the ball that they had in the last match.
As we see Northam on the ball, very well intercepted there by Catherine Rennick, the captain of the United States for today. But it does end up in the hands of Eloise Northam once more. The ball up the field and a foul given away for the first time today by Georgia Bykoff there. Doesn't seem very happy with that decision.
I'd like to see that ball go from the throw and go across the pitch to Talia, because she had no one on her and she had just acres of space in front of her. So not always up the line. We can look to the side as well.
Acres of space here, Lainey Harrison. And well saved there in the end by Emily Lauritsen. That was so close, Piney. I can see your hands on your face now.
Oh, I could feel the TikTok dance coming. I could feel it coming.
Oh, they've been playing so well. You just want them to get
once more and head it over. Another opportunity for the CommBank Paramatildas. That was Lainey Harrison once more, who did everything right. Got her head on the ball, beat two defenders to the ball, and just couldn't keep the header down.
Oh, if the viewers could see how we're reacting and riding to every ball, every shot, every header at the moment. Look, they're playing so well, and you just want them to be able to have that reward on the scoreboard. They've just got to keep pressing. They've got to keep doing what they're doing, playing patiently. I think they're going to get the opportunity, but you have to admit the United States goalkeeper, she's been fantastic so far, Lauritsen, and I think it is going to take something pretty special to get past her today.
Indeed, it won't stop the CommBank Paramatildas from trying. You sense a goal is coming in this game, but the nerves, the intensity of the final, it's as the game continues at 0-0, it's surely going to play a part as Bykoff drives through the middle once more. Apologies. Looks like that was, in fact, Lainey Harrison. Apologies again, Talia Blanchard. Stream quality. The ball launched in from the United States and a shot from outside the penalty area there, but has gone just wide. Smith utilising her ability to kick the ball long here as the United States retreat in anticipation. Scoreboard update into the 21st minute is the USA 0, Australia 0. Still very, very tense here, Piney.
They're very reactive, the Americans. They're not very proactive. They're reacting. Look how deep they dropped there for a simple goal kick. All Georgia had to do was run and accept the ball, and she's turning halfway on the halfway line. 2 touches and it's a shot. I think we can really change that up.
And you can see there a huge difference from today's game to Sunday that we've been harping on about. But Talia Blanchard there so easily just playing that player out of the game, Rebecca Ostrander. Although the United States with an opportunity to cross in the box here, very well defended away. Calls for handball by the United States. And a goal! The CommBank Paramatildas were 1-0 up in the first ever IFCPF World Cup final. A shot from nowhere. Where did that come from, Anne?
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's honestly fantastic. And you can't say it's not been coming. It has absolutely, from the very first minute, they've controlled this game, they've controlled the possession, they've had more shots on goal, and it's absolutely just reward. And just before that halftime break, it's probably what they absolutely would love to have had.
Eloise Northam, can you believe it? Now, we said that she would make a difference starting from this game. What a goal, Piney!
I think it was a Harrison flick. I'm going to go it was a Harrison flick because Harrison was up there, and the AI, God love it, didn't quite let us see the final. I think it was a Laney Harrison flick. But I can't be sure. I don't want to take anything away from Eloise.
Well, irrespective of who got the last touch, we can't take anything away from Lainey Harrison's movement, which she's done so well all tournament, as the United States player does well to keep it in, but it does go out for a goal kick. Lainey Harrison all tournament has been exceptional at dragging defenders away, creating space, while Georgia Bykoff and Eloise Northam have gotten a lot of the goals and the plaudits, although Lainey Harrison has picked up 5 herself. It has been her efforts up front in that off the ball movement have been so important, as we see her on the ball here and very well defended away from the United States, Anne.
And defensively, you often talk about a team playing a full team defence, and Lainey Harrison has certainly been that. She's been that first defender every single time, putting that pressure on the ball, not making it easy for the United States to get the ball out. And she's been fantastic in that role, as well as the space and her movement that she's created up front. And we're just
She,
getting word that it actually was Eloise Northam. What a impact she's made returning into the match and returning into the starting lineup. We spoke about her on Sunday, how important she was going to be in this game, and she's already demonstrated that many times over.
It's unbelievable. Australia finding themselves 1-0 up. Although the United States with a corner kick here, another set piece. Caitlin Smith! Does she save it? What a save! Caitlin Smith, and she may have hurt herself a little bit here, but that is remarkable. That looked like, for all money, that was bound for a United States equaliser. They're a quality team, and we knew that they would come out hard after conceding a goal. But Caitlin Smith, the brick wall, has done it again and has kept Australia in the lead here, as the ball is won back in midfield, although very well defended there by the United States. And out for a throw-in, and we can breathe, Chris.
No, I don't think you can, Taryn. This is. We were one pass away from a one-on-one with the keeper there. Just the opportunities that the Paramatildas are creating. If you're an Aussie at home, if you're Australian at home, stand up and applaud. This is your Paramatildas taking it and maybe even taking home the World Cup. I'm not going to get. It's too early, I know, but
Heine,
hey,
it's
we're up.
way too early. Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet, mate.
I can't help it.
Honestly,
I can't help it, Anne.
it's been a fantastic first half performance. We spoke about what the mentality would be off the back of that group game, losing 4-0 to the United States. The United States completely dominant. There's another opportunity with a long throw in and Lainey Harrison on the ball.
It must be said the United States have been very good at defending those long throws. They clearly know that it's coming, and they've clearly trained for it, as we are at the mercy of the referee in stoppage time here. The United States on the attack once more with a one-on-one with Caitlin Smith, and she saved it again with her legs. Caitlin Smith, the degree of difficulty on that save, Pine, and you know full well as a goalkeeper, where there are concerns again in back play here for co-captain Georgia Bykoff.
Body on the line there by Caitlin Smith. Unbelievable. Showing the disregard for your body that any keeper should have. As now we have a lot of regard for Georges, and we're all hoping she gets up.
Absolutely. We did see Georgia on crutches at the end of the game on Sunday. She did take to Instagram to let us know that she was okay, that it was just precautionary, but hopefully it's not going to impact her too much in this game. A vital player for the CommBank Paramatildas, not just in what she contributes in terms of goals and assists, but also as a leader on that field, Anne.
She's a tough one, Georgia. She, after the game, she spoke about the fact that she just had a little bit of soreness and a little bit of pain, but she was trying to tough it out, and they decided to rest her and give her the opportunity to play this game and see just how vital, like we mentioned, her connection with Northam and Lainey Harrison has been in this match. So hopefully the halftime break will give her time to be able to just get a little bit of a breather. But all up, I think you mentioned Caitlin Smith and looking for a long throw, the United States, and they did get there.
Just over the top there from the United States. That was very well worked. The runner at the back post there noticed that the Australians had no one marking her and was smart enough to run into space as looks like a long shot there from Caitlin Smith takes us into the half-time break. The CommBank Paramatildas in the first ever IFCPF Women's World Cup final, the first ever final an Australian senior team has ever been a part of, are winning 1-0, courtesy of Eloise Northam in the 22nd minute. And how are the nerves?
Ooh, it's time for a deep breath, isn't it? Look, you have to give it hats off to Kelly Sturton and how she's been able to adjust in this match. She's been able to get the girls up. The rest was vitally important, but I think just as significant has been the mindset that they've come out with. They've looked to close down the US every single time. They've not allowed them to play out through the midfield. In the last game, the likes of Annie Wickett, she was able to sort of slalom her way almost through the midfield to be able to give themselves some good looks in goal. They haven't had that this time round. And really, Piney, if there is a golden gloves for this tournament, Caitlin Smith must be head and shoulders ahead of any other goalkeeper because she, again, has been fantastic and none better than that goal line save just late in that half. But I think most importantly, it's been her ability to provide and give that numerical advantage for the CommBank Paramatildas.
In matches like this, it's all about big moments, and it's about big moments and who's going to step up to those moments, and certainly, I mean, as she has all tournament, Smith has just absolutely stood up on two massive occasions where she's made some really, really big saves. And the other one who I think is a bit of an unsung hero is Lainey Harrison up top. She's a workhorse. That girl is a workhorse. She just does not stop. And I think her pressing up front is really allowing our backs and our midfield. It's allowing them that room and that time that they can quickly come on the counter attack. So, I mean, you certainly got my two picks for woman of the match when it comes to the end of this, because this is now's the time for calm heads though. They need to really be calm and take this next half and go out nil all because it's a final. You haven't got it won.
Piney, if you're Kelly Sturton right now, what are you saying to your team?
Exactly. I think almost exactly that. It goes, we still have 25 minutes to play in this game. There is still plenty of football to be played. There's plenty of chances for us to score more goals. There's also a chance for the Americans. And so we just need to be calm. We need to play our game. We need to play the way that we came out in the first 15 minutes. And I think we were blown away in the first 15 minutes, just the intensity that the Paramatildas had. And the amount of ball that they had that in comparison to the last game was just amazing.
Absolutely. Well, we'll take a break here. It's been a joy having your company for the first half of the IFCPF Women's World Cup final. Australia Your CommBank Paramatildas 1-0 up, thanks to a 22nd minute Eloise Northam stunner from long range. We'll take a break and leave you with a countdown and see you on the other side. Welcome back to this, the second half of the IFCPF Women's World Cup final, the first ever of its kind. Australia currently leading the United States 1-0, although the United States coming out of the blocks quickly there, and it took another fantastic save from the brick wall, Caitlin Smith, to keep them out there, as the United States on the attack again here and out for a goal kick. Australia leading 1-0, courtesy of a 22nd minute Eloise Northam stunner from well inside her own half. Both teams with the chance to make history here. Second half, it's getting tense, Piney.
Oh, it's getting really tense. I think the Americans have made a change.
Yeah, they have.
The Americans have actually made two changes at halftime. So they're bringing on number 3, Annie Wickett, who was so effective in the game on Sunday, as we see a free kick given away here. Some desperate defending there by Georgia Bykoff. So Annie Wickett's come on for Catherine Rennick, as we see this free kick here over the a feint there as the wall jumped to try and stop that. Another go at it here. She go directly for goal and well over the top in the end. Disaster averted there for the Paramatildas. The other change that the Americans have made is bringing on Jesslyn Cunnell for Rebecca Ostrander. It'll be interesting to see how that changes their tactics. And now Rebecca Ostrander in both games has been the furthest forward player for the United States. She's been essentially marking goalkeeper Caitlin Smith. How do you see them potentially changing up their tactics with this change, do you think? Or do you think it's just a personnel change?
No, I think you've already seen them change their tactics up. Talia Blanchard is going to have to keep an eye on the number 10 who's come into the match. As you can see already, well, you can kind of see with the AI, they're a little bit more mobile up the top. I think they're going to be much quicker on the flanks. And I think Australia is going to have to be much more disciplined in this game now, because that numbers advantage that we spoke about in that first half, that's now gone. So how they utilise it, as we can see now, the United States are starting to play a little bit more and string their passes a little bit more. I think that's going to happen, and this one's going to be a tough second half, and I think the CommBank Paramatildas are going to have to really dig in.
That was desperate defending there, running all the way back from Georgia Bykoff. Northam wins the ball back in midfield. Does not take a backward step, does Eloise Northam. The ball recycled well on this right-hand side. Going to be whipped into the box. Very well marshalled by the United States and out for another goal kick. I wonder if Piney Bykoff will be forced a little bit further back. We've seen her play largely as a midfielder and scored a lot of her goals sort of winning the ball in midfield and making those runs. Maybe in the second half with a 1-goal lead, maybe a little bit of anxiety. It's a World Cup final. Do you think that she stays a little bit deeper now?
No, it's too early to stay deeper. It's too early to go full Mourinho yet. We need to really secure a second goal, and she seems to have that midfielder covered. It does Georgia Bykoff, and to be honest, I think Talia's got their striker covered as well. So listen, I'm alert but not alarmed, as they say.
as the ball whipped into the box there from the Americans. Well headed away, though. Of course, with any personnel change, there is a slight difference in tactics. There's also fresh legs on the field, which will have an impact. The players have played 5 games, or this is their 5th game, and they've come in very quick succession. So while they did have a day's break between now and the previous game on Sunday, the CommBank Paramatildas actually played 3 games in 3 days before then. So there will be a lot of fatigue as it's shot from distance there from Bykov. She's not been shy about those shots from distance. But as we continue into this second half, it certainly is the case that substitutes will make a big difference, Anne.
They absolutely will, but I think what's going to be actually crucially important is how Australia reacts to the inclusion of Annie Wickett. As we said, for those who didn't watch the last encounter between these two nations on Sunday, Wickett was an absolute gun for the United States, and she really was the difference. We're seeing Australia going, oh, that is a big collision there.
That was a big collision. I think in the end it was well kept by Caitlin Smith. There were calls for a moment there for a penalty, but it is just a corner. They've been going to the edge of the area, America, with most of their corners here. Looks like there's a different tactic here. Although no, they run to the edge of the area. Very well defended by Eloise Northam, alert to the danger. And an attempted flick on there. Well, that would have been an incredible goal. That was audacious there from the Americans, but Caitlin Smith coming up trumps once more. Piney, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, another long ball through. Oh, and it's a goal. The United States get one back, and they've looked good this half. They deserve their goal. They equalise here, the United States of America. They're such a strong team. We knew it was coming. 1-1 here in the second half as we hear the USA chants ring out in Salou. And
yeah, it was coming. They've been really strong in this second half. They've been much more mobile. They've been much more at Australia. It's Georgia Bykov. Oh, what an effort from distance from Georgia, forcing a very, very good save from Emily Listerin.
Now, we've received word from the ground as Bykov has another shot. It was that woman that we talked about. It was Annie Wickett who scored the goal for the United States. So someone who didn't start the game this time around, subbed on at half-time and almost immediately scores the equaliser for the United States. That's huge, Piney.
Oh, it really is. And like Anne said, it was coming. I was about to say that that I'm not liking what I'm seeing at the moment. There's just there's far too much complacency, and there's a bit of fear creeping into the Paramatildas game. So they just need to calm the nerves and get back into this. They're not 0-0 essentially.
United States with another opportunity there. It was their top scorer there, Katarina Guimarães, but into the midst again of Caitlin Smith, who goes for a long shot here and just wide. She's not shy of having those long shots. As the
I was
ball
mentioning a bit
comes
earlier
out
that I
here.
think what's going to be crucial here is how they do look after Wickett. And at the moment, it's been deep.
Another shot here, and that's another goal from the other substitute for the United States. Jesslyn Cunnell hits that one into the roof of the net. Nothing Caitlin Smith could do there. The substitutions at half-time for the United States. Well, they've done their job, Piney. 2 goals from the 2 substitutes. And it's now 2-1 to the United States.
They really have. And it's going to require a massive effort to get ourselves out of this hole where the movement's not as high. Everyone's sort of just standing watching at the moment. So, yeah, not happy with what I'm seeing again.
How do the CommBank Paramatildas change this up now? They were in the lead and now find themselves in chasing the result. Only one goal down. It's 2-1. But do you think a personnel change, a tactical change, a mindset change, what needs to happen here to get the Australians back into the game?
I think in this one, you probably want to see them do what they did in the first half, which was pressing a little bit higher up the pitch and giving no time to the Americans as they go for a short corner once again. But it looks like it's going to make it out for a goal kick. I think they need to be able to take the time away on the ball that the Americans have had in this second half. That's going to involve the team playing a little bit higher up the park. They've been stuck in their half a lot in this game.
Another corner comes in from the United States. Thankfully, from a Australian perspective, no one was making that run at the far post, and it's out for a Paramatildas throw-in. The Paramatildas scored their goal with a long shot from range, and it seems like they're trying to replicate that feat here a little bit. They're not stringing the passes together that they were in the first half, and the United States are much better on the ball as a free kick is given away here. And it's that woman, again, Annie Wickett, who's won that free kick. She's made such a difference for them, Piney.
Yeah, she really has. I'm surprised that the ref didn't show some cheddar there.
And a free kick, and what a save! Caitlin Smith, how many times are we going to say that in this game? Well, maybe I was giving it too much credit then. Maybe it hit the post and went out. It looked like a fantastic save, Piney.
I think the post takes all the credit there.
It's one of those as a goalkeeper where you almost want it to be a corner because you almost want to take the credit.
Well, no, you say it was. You know, you knew where your posts were, and you knew that it was going to hit one of them.
There is a substitution here for Australia. Their first substitution of the game as the ball is into the grateful gloves of the US keeper Emily Lauritsen. It is Lainey Harrison who is making her way off the field, and what a fantastic tournament that she's had. And it's the 15-year-old Charlize Tran coming on to replace her. Charlize, she's scored a goal so far in this tournament, but big responsibility now on the youngsters' shoulders, Anne.
Definitely, and you know that Lainey's done a fantastic job in that first sort of 35 minutes or so. So Charlize is going to need that same sort of energy. She's got to provide an outlet for the rest of the team, especially when they're being pulled deeper into their own half. And there's almost a chance on the ball there, but she's going to need to provide that same defensive energy to make sure that she can track those runners from the United States and also stay high up the park so she can provide that outlet for the team as we head to a drinks break.
So this is the final drinks break of the game, halfway through the second half. The United States currently leading Australia 2-1. As just a reminder, the halves are 25 minutes long. The clock in the top left of your screen is just a few minutes behind. So we should be at about 13 minutes, about halfway through the first half. Piney, the United States substitutes, as we've talked about, have made such a difference to their team and their setup. How does Australia come back from this?
The drinks break couldn't have come at a better time. This is where Kelly Sturton earns her money. This is where she really needs to rally her troops and say, you know, and 2-1 is by no means out of this match. I feel if America get another one, that's pretty much curtains, because we don't seem to have the same tenacity, the same energy that we had in the first half. So it needs to, if whatever you've got left in the tank and whatever bit of energy you got left, you got to use absolutely everything and leave it all out there on the pitch, because there's you got 12 minutes to make history.
Exactly right. 12 minutes, and one of these teams will make history. Of course, on this broadcast, we do unashamedly hope it is the CommBank Paramatildas to do so as the play gets underway once more. And it's going to be so difficult to score. It's certainly been, both teams have been the two strongest teams in the tournament, without a doubt, finishing first and second, but without a doubt, also they've had the two strongest goalkeepers of the competition, and what a difference they have made, Smith and Lauritsen. How do we find our way past Lauritsen? I know that the first goal was a long shot, but it seems to me as if they might be better off trying to get the ball into the penalty area more often.
Lauritsen has been incredibly strong this tournament, and particularly against Australia. I think she's read those long shots incredibly well. She's also been good on the long throws from Eloise Northam. So when you see that, great save there by Caitlin Smith coming out strongly. When you see that, you know Australian really does need to take the opportunity to actually play the ball a bit more. I've been incredibly impressed with the United States, and you have to take it off to them. They've made the tactical change, they've made the personnel change that they needed to at the break, and they've got reward for that. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this game between the top two nations of this tournament, and it's a really great spectacle and for CP football. So loving it, but also looking for Australia to be able to adjust again after the United States have really. Here we go. Here's an opportunity. Nope. And again.
Eloise Northam winning the ball back in midfield. Bikoff with the long shot. Oh, that was worth a shot there with the keeper off her line. But the United States just so composed on the ball. You have to say, throughout the whole team, they really do have that extreme, that composure and that strength on the ball that really has been a standout this tournament. As they have a throw in here into the penalty area, and well caught by Caitlin Smith. She's going long nearly every time here, Caitlin Smith. Looks like, I'm not sure what was said at the drinks break, but it looks like head coach Kelly Sturton may have instructed Caitlin Smith to play those long balls and look for Charlie Strand up front. Bikoff wins the ball in the middle. She's just got one player to beat, but such good tracking back yet again from the United States. And it's that player, Annie Wickett, on the ball, passing the ball forward. She can't beat Bikoff, though, and it's gone out for another United States throw. End-to-end stuff here, Piney.
Bikoff just needed to pull the trigger just that little bit sooner than she did.
Very safe hands there from Caitlin Smith. We win the ball back in midfield. Bikoff with the long shot! Oh, I thought for a second there that goal was on target, and you have to hit the target for the ball to go into the back of the net, but it's looking a bit speculative. There's probably enough time in the game to just try and string some passes together and try and play a bit more tactically here, Piney.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at the body language, it's chalk and cheese out there.
Oh, fantastic effort there from Caitlin Smith, coming off her line and use of the body there, helping her opponent up on the ground, which is what we love to see. There has been 42 minutes gone in this game, meaning that there is 8 minutes of regular time to go. Still plenty of time for anything to happen in this one. The United States currently leading 2-1 as they make another substitution.
Mind blown here, Taryn.
It's a goalkeeping substitution. I did think that I saw number 1 on the substitute sign, but I didn't believe it because Lauritsen has been such a standout. So we've received word from the ground that Annie Wickett, their number 3, who has been so influential in this game, is going into the goals here. Well, this might well change the equation for the final 10 minutes or so, Anne.
This is a turn up for the books. I think you would go in terms of a tactical shift in this one. They might be thinking they can get a little bit more mobility all across the park with wicket plus an additional outfield player. I would say that when you have a look at how they've played this game, you have a feeling that United States might be going for that knockout punch, which will be interesting to see.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
long ball in. Is that over the line? That's over the line! The Paramatildas! They've equalised as soon as the United States have made that goalkeeping substitution with another long shot. The Paramatildas saw their opportunity and they took it straight away. That's 2-2. The Paramatildas equalising. Caitlin Smith, the goalkeeper. It was a battle of the goalkeepers. Piney. You look stunned.
I can't believe what's happened in the last 3 minutes. America seemed to have had a brain explosion and taken seemingly the best, one of their strongest players off, and a goalkeeper who has been saving everything, and substituted. I'm speechless, Anne and Taryn. Absolutely speechless.
We did say this one was a turn up for the books, and almost immediately it has completely changed the complexion of this game. We see Caitlin Smith down in the back half, and we really need to make sure that she's okay. The physiotherapist, Caravan Rich, she'll be coming on shortly. Just have a look at Caitlin, but can't understand that substitution, and really it's changed this game. We haven't had additional time yet in any of the matches, and this will now see a real look at what the two coaches are going to do with this one. To be honest, I'm quite still surprised, Piney. I'm still quite shocked to see what's happened here.
I'm gonna say maybe even a look depends. Maybe even a tactical attack because they think the Pens is going to come. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws here, people.
Well, the United States winning 2-1 with around 7 or 8 minutes or so of regulation time left in the game, sub off their superstar goalkeeper, Emily Lauritsen, who has had an outstanding game and indeed an outstanding tournament. In her place, they put Annie Wickett, who has made an extraordinary difference in the centre of the park for them in goals. And Wickett's first action, who presumably is not a first-choice goalkeeper, is to fail to save a Caitlin Smith long shot and concede a goal. And any words for that?
No, and we're looking to see what's happening at the moment. Just the whistle has gone, but it doesn't seem there's been any movement. But so it will be a throw-in for the United States. And it's a long one, and it's an easy claim there for Caitlin Smith.
Very well caught from Caitlin Smith, though. It does look like she's been cleaned up in the follow-up there. All's fair in love and war, of course.
And this is what I can't understand, Taryn. Like that's a yellow card at any level, and I just can't see how we haven't seen cards here, Australian and American.
You can
well,
see
it's the last couple of minutes of this game, Piney, and really, Australia, as you mentioned at halftime, need to keep some composure. And with that change now, that's what they need to do. They need to really press exactly as Eloise Northam is doing right there. They really need to press the Americans because they would be rattled right now. And this is the opportunity to make the most of that advantage.
You can see young Charlize Tran there marking the United States goalkeeper. Although they do win the ball back here. And this is one of their strengths, the United States. With a step over in the middle. She's going to have a shot on the edge of the area. And the AI camera did not pick up what happened. but it looked like she missed, and then it's gone out for a United States goal kick. Well, this is very tense. This is very end to end, and unfortunately to everyone watching, our old friend the AI camera is not assisting with our nerves on this broadcast. This is having all of the twists and turns that a World Cup final has, as another shot from distance there from the United States rattles the crossbar, and we can barely take a breath right now, Piney.
I don't understand some of the Australian defending here. They're just not defending with any sort of gusto. I saw Talia just sort of standing and letting that shot happen. You need to get in there. You need to put pressure. It's too early in a final. Come on, girls.
That scoreboard looks like 5 minutes of time added on.
Oh, that's a G up, surely.
United States on the ball here. On the right-hand side, a ball in. But Caitlin Smith once more. Goalkeeper, goal scorer, Caitlin Smith. What a hero with the ball in her hand. She'll probably look to launch it long here. She's done all game. And this time,
there was a massive opportunity missed there when they had 3 players just walking, and it was in Caitlin's hands. We had a 2v1 up the top of the pitch. Just launch it long. Got to look out for those chances, those opportunities. They win your matches.
As it looks like Jesslyn Cunnell, the number 10 for the United States, has also made a huge difference for them up front. She's been very good at sort of harassing the Australian defenders, almost playing the Lainey Harrison role for them as the ball is cleared. Tense times with around 3 minutes of regulation time to go, Anne.
Oh, there's not long to go in this match, and at the moment it's going to be all about...
All the way through there. And various boots went out to try to catch that one on the way to Caitlin Smith, but the ball ended up clean through as Tran attempts to win this one.
I think Smith is going with those long kicks to kind of give her defence a little bit of time to reset, Piney, but I feel like the ball is coming back too quickly. So it might be an opportunity for the team to play and string some passes for a little while, just to give themselves a bit more of a breather in that way rather than the long kick out. But you can't deny how fantastic she has been all tournament and in this game, Caitlin Smith.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But clearly that is a tactic.
And it has been for all of the second half, particularly since the drinks break. Looks like it was a tactical adjustment from coach Kelly Sturton and her team.
Here it is, a corner, Taryn. This could be it.
A corner. Bykoff lining up just outside the penalty area there. You can see her. The United States defenders crowding into the box. You can see them speaking to each other here. Who's going to mark Bykoff? They've finally figured it out. And the ball attempted to go to Bykoff, but has gone out for a United States throw. And still anyone's game here. 2-2, just heading into the final minutes of regulation time here. Although an Australian throw, an opportunity to launch it into the box here from Northam. And very well kept. Annie Wickett, the goalkeeper, going on a run herself. And there's an opportunity in open net here, but the ball's gone out. Annie Wickett in goals. I am lost for words. This final has had everything, including a run through midfield. Why not? There's another long shot here. It comes in from the United States, and off the back of Georgia Bykoff. Well, our nerves are going through the roof in the broadcast as Caitlin Smith comes out, and never in doubt there. I cannot imagine what it's like to be out on that field right now, Piney.
Yeah. I can't. I've played in one final in my career, and it's it's nerve-wracking to know what's on the line. So I can just imagine what it's like for these girls.
Bike off on the second ball here. There seems to be a tactic to try and launch it up to Charlize Tran, and then on the rebound, Bike off's been getting launched into the area here. Northam trying to get her head onto that one, although over the top. We are now at the mercy of the referee in added time here in this second half. Scores currently locked at 2 goals each to the United States and the CommBank Paramatildas. If we do go to extra time, there will be 2 periods of 8 minutes each. So we may be staring down the barrel of another 60 minutes of tense action, although not if the United States has anything to say about that. Bykoff wins the ball back in midfield.
Go, Georgia.
And Northam once more, and that is the full time whistle of regulation time in this grand final. Can you believe it? The scores are locked at 2 goals each. The United States and the CommBank Paramatildas are going to extra time. And
Oh, wow. What a game. What a game between these two nations. I've loved every single moment of it. The United States came out in the second half, the tactically better side. They made the right adjustments, and now in relation to how they're going, I think it's all about what Australia does as the goals start to replay here. And it was a fantastic first effort for Eloise Northam to get Australia onto the scoreboard. The United States in the second half were the better team, but Australia has taken advantage of an incredulous substitution, I must say. And now it's up to what Australia does with this. They've got a couple of subs up their sleeves. Nicole Christodoulou, who has played at the substitute role this whole tournament, she's also on the bench. Matilda Mason is also there and available, and of Ray Anderson as well. So we'll see what Kelly Sturton does, but this has been a tight, tense game, and really it's been worthy of the name of a final.
Yeah, indeed, Anne. Indeed. I think if I was Kelly, I'd be telling my girls to stand up, because now it's all psychological. It's a psychological game here. You know, both sides are knackered. We just need to get up and show the other side that we're still ready and we're still in this, because you know it's such a mind game these last 8 minutes, because the body's gone. It's just time for the mind to take over.
It has been such an incredible game so far. Absolutely worthy of the first ever women's IFCPF World Cup Grand Final, with history on the line for both teams here. No one's going to give a backwards inch, and we've seen hard tackles, we've seen long shots, we've seen all sorts. And do you dare give a prediction for what we might see in extra time?
I can't say what we might see in extra time, but I think I can say what we need to see in extra time. And what we need from the CommBank Paramatildas is some composure. They've shown some true resilience. They've shown some true grit in that second half when they were outplayed, but they just stuck in the game. A couple of times late, you saw them put their bodies on the line. Georgia Bykoff, she copped one in the back just because she was putting her body on the line. Talia Blanchard, she made those a couple of runs up the pitch. She got in terms of the tackles. They did have a lapse period where for about 5 minutes, as Piney pointed out, they were getting a bit tired and they weren't closing down the players, but they found themselves re-energized. So in this extra time, they need to go back to the basics, close them down, take away their space, play your game, pass it around, and give yourself an opportunity against a player who is not a natural goalkeeper.
Indeed, and we saw that play out with the second goal for the CommBank Paramatildas, where Annie Rickett's first touch as a goalkeeper was not being able to keep the ball from going out over the line, Piney.
Yeah, no, it was a I mean, I'm not under the pressure that they're under, but it still baffles me how that substitution was made. But doesn't disappoint me at all, Anne. I tell you what, I've got the scarf around the neck at the moment, and we're ready to go. I mean, this is 8 minutes. What I'd love to see here is just Australia come out and just really give it to them. Really come out with everything they got in these 8 minutes. And if we can nab a goal, then it's going to be very, very difficult for the US. And likewise, so we need to be careful as well. So I know that I've just contradicted myself absolutely and totally, but hey, I'm feeling the nerves as well. Don't put me don't put me on as a coach. I'd make some bad decisions as well.
And just before we get into to extra time, just a shout out to all of the Australians who are watching on the stream. There are families back home in Australia. There are some of the coaches of the Matildas family who are also watching this match. So shout out to everyone. The CommBank Paramatildas have really done Australia proud in this match. And now they've got 2 periods of 8 minutes of extra time to see if they can bring it home.
Both teams putting on an absolute spectacle here in prime time on the MyFootball YouTube channel as Australia get us back underway, going from left to right on your screen. Just a reminder, there will be 8 minutes per half of extra time as Caitlin Smith goes for the long shot straight off the bat, but has been unsuccessful. Now, the United States on the ball here. Beats her play, beats Bykoff here, and a shot, and it's just wide, a warning shot here for the CommBank Paramatildas, Piney.
Yeah, Bykoff just needs to be closer there. She was far too deep, and she was well off a player and allowed her to turn and come at Georgia. So Georgia will learn from that.
Absolutely has been a tactic, these Caitlin Smith long kicks. Every time she's gotten the ball on the ground for a goal kick or gotten the ball in her hands, her distribution has been long, particularly since the second half, although the United States attempting to give her a taste of her own medicine there, but Smith more than up to the task and gives it back to them, just as a little bit of a treat there, Anne.
Playing a bit of rugby union possession, field position here.
It'll be interesting to see how the fatigue, both sides deal with fatigue in this match. The United States have basically made all their changes, all their substitutions that they can. Australia still has a couple more up their sleeve, and you will be able to see how they utilise it tactically. So I'm going to be interested to see how they look to as the United States.
Oh, deflection! And a goal! The substitute again! Jesslyn Cunnell for the United States. It was an unlucky deflection. And it was such a fantastic first save from goalkeeper Caitlin Smith. And it just looks like Talia Blanchard there in defence wasn't able to correct her footing as the ball was deflected straight into the path of Jesslyn Cunnell. The United States, in the first moments of extra time, score their goal to go 3-2 up in this final, Piney.
Yeah, someone just needs to take this game by the horns, and it's got to be. You call on your most experienced and capable players. So Georgia and Eloise really need to get hold of this match, and we need to strike back straight away.
This is the time for leadership, and this is the time where your most experienced players and leading by example comes out on the field, isn't it, Anne?
This is where all the work that you do in the lead up to this tournament, all the team bonding, all the tactical changes, all the training sessions, this is where it all comes together now. There's real pressure on. They're down, but they've come back from a goal already in this match. And I think this is where, as Piney said, you do want the leaders to stand up, but also this is where you realise why you've been here, why you've been on this journey. And these players have been on a very, very long journey, and they've got the opportunity to come through this as a team. So this is what we'll look to try and see. And you can already see that they're starting to fight back, and they're starting to be a lot more physical on the ball and making sure that they can clear those lines.
Tran winning the ball there. The 15-year-old black belt in Taekwondo, so no stranger to a physical battle. And we'll be hoping to get on the end of this Eloise Northam throw.
Good
change it up a little bit to bike off. And well saved there. Well, Annie Wickett, she can do it all. And she's made a good save there as the United States back up the pitch, although very well intercepted there by Blanchard. And that's Tran chasing that one down. A direct ball up the field from the United States and out for a goal kick. That's another long ball there. That's something that the Australians have done, although Northam that time, she's really fighting hard here, Eloise Northam. She's answered that call, as we on the broadcast have said, of leaders standing up. She certainly has here in extra time so far. Does give away a free kick in the end. And this will be launched into the box and out for another goal kick. And we've got goal scorers on the bench, particularly Nicole Christodoulou. When do we start seeing those changes, do you think, for the CommBank Paramatildas?
I think they shouldn't be that far away when you have a look at how, as we go forward a little bit with Charlize Tran.
That's Tran on the ball there. And well won back, but the United States are lining up in numbers in defence here. They do not want to give up their lead here. Bykoff wins it back in midfield as she's done all tournament. Now, where's an option? Can she get it to Tran? And that's very good goalkeeping there from Annie Wickett. She's gone for the long shot there, and judging by the reaction of the United States bench, has gone close, but to no avail in the end. I mean, I know that we talked about the sort of how strange that substitution was, but she's proving she's incredibly mobile, and she's able to get down, and she is adding another dimension to the American attack from goals, Piney.
Yeah, listen, I looking back on it.
Another shot across the box here. Caitlin Smith once more able to hold on.
I probably judged it a bit harshly because she was so influential on the field, but it's proving to be quite a clever substitution because she's going to be very hard to break down in those goals between those sticks.
Well, essentially gives them an extra player, as we spoke about Piney. She's now the old school keeper sweeper role. She really is the person starting those attacks now. She's got fantastic feet, and she's using it to great effect in this match. And she's already made a couple of long runs in as we get a long throw in. And she's also utilising her really great football knowledge. I find she's had been fantastic in how she reads the game, and she's playing in her teammates, and they effectively have 5 outfielders on the pitch, which we spoke about the numbers advantage Australia had in the first half. In some way, it's now that numbers advantage to the United States in the second half and extra time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite happy to eat humble pie.
Do you want some salt?
I think there's enough salt on there already.
As another
let's just not make it
in.
Let's just not make an American pie, shall we?
chipped into the box there from the United States. That player once more, Jesslyn Cunnell, was right on Caitlin Smith there. As you can see, she's just being instructed by her teammate to just calm it down. Talia Blanchard, the birthday girl, and we are seeing halftime of extra time here. The United States scoring a goal in that term. It is 3-2 to the United States of America. And the United States, they've come out there really strong, and you can see the Paramatildas. They're tired. It's extra time. It's the end of a long tournament. They're just really struggling to get up and down the field at the moment.
You have to give it to the United States. In the second half, they made the adjustment late in the game. They must have seen something that was happening on the pitch and they adjusted again tactically. And every single time they've done so, they've been able to make the most of it. I think what you're seeing here is a team that's played with each other for a little while now. They understand who they are and what their game plan is, and they've kept their defensive structure really well in this game. I think for Australia now, you probably want to see some fresh legs just to change the look up of what the United States are seeing. They've probably got an idea now of closing down Georgia Bykoff and Eloise Northam, and they're not too worried about now the long kicks from Caitlin Smith. So I would like to see one or two additional players added into this game, just to pose a different kind of question to the United States, who have pretty much answered everything Australia has thrown at them in this match.
Yeah, they have, and I can't agree enough. I mean, you may have to make some hard decisions with some people who've worked really hard this game, but we just need we need something else. We need something new out there. Just something to break the cycle, to break the rhythm that America have at the moment.
Do you think Piney, maybe Nicole Christodoulou is one of the potential answers?
Judging on the positive, on the positive, the tournament that she's had, since the start of the tournament, I think that I think Nicole Christodoulou has earned a run in on the biggest stage.
Well, anything can still happen in this grand final match. We are approaching the second half of extra time. The United States currently leading 3-2. There have been so many twists and turns in this game so far. It would be remiss of us to predict anything as the United States get us started once more, and Bykoff wins the ball in midfield, able to beat her defender and get the ball onto her stronger left foot, but shoots wide of the goal. Now, the CommBank Paramatildas, you can see now this is the last 8 minutes. They're really trying to press high here. You can see the structure that they have is really strong in attack and midfield, Anne. I believe Anne is muted here, unfortunately. Apologies for the technical issues. Anne, do you want to try again?
Oh, rookie error there, Taryn. I think what the difference has been is that the Australia is going to try those same tactics, but as you see, Annie Wickett.
Oh, what a save from Caitlin Smith. Although the rebound here, and she's able to get up and make the save off the rebound. Jesslyn Cunnell was on the hunt there for her third goal of the game so far. But Caitlin Smith equal to the task.
We need to stop being so one-dimensional here. We really need to change up the way that we play. There was an opportunity to roll it straight out to Georgia, and Georgia she had just paddock in front of her. So I wouldn't mind seeing possibly not trying that long ball as much.
And we did see Blanchard just motioning to Smith at the end of the first period of extra time, just to settle it down a little bit. And it might be what you're speaking to, Piney, of just, looking for other options. It's always tempting as a goalkeeper to go long, but there's often a better option shorter, and it's up to her teammates as well to find themselves in that position. But it's also just about being a little bit smart here, as Northam has the ball and launches it into the box, as we've seen. And well saved. I think there was a call for handball for a moment there, or perhaps that was just wishful thinking through Australian coloured glasses. And 6 minutes of regular time. The temptation for the Australians will be to just launch it and try to get that equaliser goal, as the ball does find itself. Well, Annie Wickett has saved a corner. That's an example of some of her game awareness and her mobility there. Tran on the ball. And it looks like an Australian free kick in a very advantageous position, Anne.
This is an opportunity to see what kind of set piece work that they've done, because the reality is Annie Wickett is actually pretty comfortable on those high balls coming into the penalty area. So it will be interesting to see if they can put some variation on this set piece. And again, just got to, as Piney has said, we just got to give America a different look. At the moment, they're quite comfortable with what we're serving up. And speaking of a different look, looks like Caitlin Smith might be coming up for this free kick.
That's exactly that. That was exactly my thought pattern. Get a free kick and just let the hammer fly. Absolutely, let the hammer fly.
She's already scored a goal today, Caitlin Smith. This would be her second. This would be her third of the tournament, her second of the game, if she can get this in the back of the net. Caitlin Smith lining up for the free kick. Caitlin Smith! And well defended there by the United States. The opportunity not over here. And the ball up the field once more. There is a lot of noise occurring at the ground. Potentially more calls for a handball there, although drowned out by the very loud USA chant that we can hear. Good to have support in Spain. As we win the ball back here, Eloise Northam on the ball. And the AI camera lets us down.
If you're Georgia there, honestly, if you're Georgia there, and with the 4 minutes that we have left, you just need to push it forward. You're doing nothing at the back there, in terms of scoring a goal, which is what we need. So we just need everybody up. Caitlin really needs to be standing in and around the halfway line.
This is where there's no difference in losing 4-2 to 3-2. So you might as well gamble with the World Cup and the world title on the line.
Ball in the box here. Tran did very, very well. Did the young Charlize Tran there to win the ball back. And Bykoff, if it had just been a slightly better touch there, Bykoff may have had an opportunity, but it's ended up with a United States throw-in. And out once more for a Caitlin Smith goal kick, with time running out here for the CommBank Paramatildas. You do understand the temptation to just belt it as long as you possibly can here and try and get that territorial advantage, maybe try and win a corner or a free kick or a throw-in high in the area as the ball is launched forward, but very competently dealt with there by Katarina Guimaraes. And the ball has gone out for a United States corner. 2 minutes to go in regulation time. And if you're the United States right now, do you run it into the corner, or do you not think that that's an option? Do you think they'll go for that fourth?
I think they'll go for that fourth as they play a short ball in there. And why not? The worst that can happen is you concede a goal and you're going to penalties. But the best thing that can happen is you can kill this game right here and right now with only about 2.5 minutes left. So I would think the American attacking mind frame, that's where they're going to go.
And they do go for the cross into the penalty area. Very well defended But the United States will not be unhappy at all about the opportunity for another corner. I'm sure they will take their time, go short once more.
Fast break, girls.
The
Fast
ball's
break,
gone
girls.
out for an Australian throw. Now they have to get up the field quickly here. The ball is rolled out to Bykoff. Sliding challenge. She's beaten her first player. And passed up to Tran. That's an Australian throw-in, so it will be Northam. Now, can she get a throw-in assist? This is a crucial moment in this game. Northam into the box. And it's spilled. It's spilled. The ball's in the penalty area. And it just didn't find the feet there of Charlize Tran.
Really, Northam's right there. Oh, my.
That was so close for the CommBank Paramatildas. The ball spilled out of the hands of substitute goalkeeper Annie Wickett. We were almost going to penalty there, but the opportunity is not over. Northam into the box, headed clear, and just over the goals there. That might be it for the CommBank Paramatildas. They've got a corner here, and well cleared away, back into the area. Northam! Northam needed to be on the end of that, and the United States will break now, and they've got plenty of numbers forward. As you can imagine, the Paramatildas overcommitted forward, and the United States put a cherry on the cake of their victory. 4 goals to 2. The United States, in the dying moments of extra time, have slotted a goal home, and that was just the result of, you can understand the CommBank Paramatildas pushing numbers forward. As you said, Piney, there's no difference between 3-2 and 4-2, but that feels like a gut punch, doesn't it?
Oh, this is a bit of a gut punch as well. Just tell you, just not quite controlling it, and it just rolls into the corner, and it's party time for the US, unfortunately, for the Paramatildas.
Well, and that is the full-time whistle in the first ever Women's IFCPF World Cup. The United States, the giants of women's football, have won the day and made history here in Salou in Spain. It's not the result that we wanted on the broadcast, but Anne, these CommBank Paramatildas making a World Cup final at the first time of asking, they've already made history, haven't they?
They have, and they should be incredibly proud. Like I said, just 8 weeks ago, there wasn't even a team. And now they're making the IFCPF Women's World Cup final, and they would be incredibly proud of how they performed in this match, how they performed in this tournament. They made so many learnings along the way, and I think most importantly, they would be proud of how they've represented their nation. So there's no bad feelings in losing to a stronger team like the United States. And all up, you've got to admit that it's been a great contest between these two nations, and looking forward to see what they do over the next couple of years, because both of them were fantastic today and really made it a great contest.
It was a remarkable game, and it was fitting for a World Cup final that it was. It was end to end. It was exciting. There was twists. There was turns. There was tactical decisions that we couldn't explain, or we didn't understand, and turned out to be masterstrokes. Piney, can you put any of that into words at all right now?
I think the only thing and the best thing to come out of this, not only was it a hard fought final, but it showed you what para football means, and what it means for the CommBank Paramatildas, and what it could mean for potential players. People in the United States, the girls in the United States watching this, girls in Australia watching this. This is where you can be. This is what you can achieve. You can be here, and this is something to aspire to, because you've seen your nations run their heart out, and you should be very, very proud and very, very inspired to achieve what these girls have achieved.
It's so fantastic to see the girls with smiles on their faces as they walk over to greet their friends and family, and they deserve to have those smiles on their faces after what was an incredible final. And of course, full congratulations to the United States, who fully deserved their win. And can you put into words, just, you can see the coaching staff there, led by Kelly Sturton. They must be so proud right now.
Yeah, Kelly Sturton, Charlotte Ursel, also the team manager, and Kim Schaefer, who is also a former Matildas goalkeeper herself. They'd be incredibly proud, but I think also they'd be incredibly happy with the performance that they put out, especially after the United States were so strong in that last group match, running out 4-0 winners in that game. The way, the fortitude to turn around and turn this match around, they should be pretty happy with where they are. As we hear happy birthday songs to Talia Blanchard, who turns 22 today. Look, I want to say also a shout out on the stream. At one point, we had an enormous number of watchers on the stream. So, to those who were following the United States, congratulations to you, and thank you very much for watching, because this is what we need to see. If we, as Piney said, we want to be able to empower a new generation of women and girls. We have 2.2 million women and girls in Australia living with disability, and now so many of them with cerebral palsy, with acquired brain injury, and with symptoms of stroke know that they can represent their country and put out performances like this group of players did today.
Football is absolutely a game for everyone, and we can see that on the field today. So we see the United States players and coaching staff with a well-earned celebration there. Very happy with their efforts, as they well should be. Piney, as Anne said, the enormous amount of people watching on the stream today. For many people tonight, it would have been their first exposure ever to CP football. The first time that they heard of such a thing existing, the first time that they've seen it on their screens, and been able to watch a highly competitive match full of all of the drama that you would expect from a World Cup final. Can you describe what that means?
What it means to the players out there, it means everything. To the players, to their families, to the belief and the self, the self belief, and the belief in what you're trying to create as a team, the community that you create from a team like this, and the support networks that that you now have all over the country, whether it be America or whether it be Australia. This is a truly special sport to be a part of, and I'm certainly glad that I was a part of this final here, because I am, while being disappointed, bitterly disappointed, being bleeding green and gold. I do think that America were probably worth the win, and are now the benchmark in world para football for women.
As we see the goals running now, if you are just catching up on the stream, Australia did strike first, a long shot from co-captain Eloise Northam, of course taking captaincy duties alongside Georgia Bykoff throughout the tournament. It did go into half-time 1-0 up to Australia, but the United States very quickly hit back and scored 2 goals very early on in the first half. And it seemed for a time like Australia were out of it, Anne.
It did, but what they did really well was stay in the game. And they have done that at key moments throughout the whole tournament. And they gave themselves an opportunity, even when America looked like they were on top. They really did give themselves the best opportunity. And it was just, in the end, it was a little bit more a touch of class Some fantastic goals and just an unlucky deflection also on that final goal for the United States to eventually run out the winners. Sorry, the third goal, which ended up basically being the match-winning goal for the United States to run out winners in this one. Before we go into the last pieces, I think it's worth just reminding everyone of this fantastic squad with Holly Saunders, Nicole Christodoulou, Talia Blanchard, Charlize Tran, Lainey Harrison, Caitlin Smith, Eloise Northam, Matilda Mason, Ray Anderson, and co-captain Georgia Bykoff, who was one of the players of the tournament. And they've made history, and I hope after the disappointment sort of fades away, they can understand what this last 10 days has meant to a lot of people back home in Australia.
Absolutely, as we see here a replay of Australia's second goal, the goal that got them back into it, although we are heading now to the presentation of the IFCPF Women's World Cup. And we hope to bring that to you on screen. Piney 2-2 heading into extra time. What were you thinking then? What was the, did you think that we were still in it?
You just needed to when I said it was all psychological. I think that just looking at the two teams while they were over there in the dugouts over there at the bench, the Americans just looked like they were all on their feet. They were all huddled together. They just looked like a really cohesive team, and where we were where I know that we are a cohesive team, but it's just that in football it's those tiny little margins, and I think that's a tiny little margin that the Americans were just better at today at the psychological game. I think they held the nerves very well.
And it must be a credit to their coaching staff and team who are over there, made tactical substitutions at the right times, and really made an impact. Those two second half goals were from two substitutes in the second half. So we had Annie Wickett and also Jesslyn Cunnell, who scored goal 2 and 3 for the United States as well. So we see
Three was
the presentation getting underway here.
We are accompanied in this act by illustrious Mr. Peregrinados Mayor Salou, Mr. Carlos Muñoz, President of the Catalan Sports Federation of Several Paraleagues, Carmina Blay, Territorial Representative of the Sport in Tarragona of the General Secretariat of Sport, and Tom Langen, Representative of the IFCPF. Now Tom Langen wants to say a few words. What a final. Fantastic. Sorry when I'm a little bit emotional about this. Teams and staff, Lord Mayor, President, volunteers, referees, classifiers, and IFCPF staff, and everybody else involved in this competition. We were all witness of this first IFCPF Women's World Cup. During the last 10 days, I saw the players perform to their best, supported by professional staff. Remarkable was the respect that the team showed to each other. Win or lose, of course, is important in football. But after the match, teams always appreciate each other's performance, and there was always friendship. I saw players crying during the anthems, also staff. They were so proud to represent their country. I do not only want to congratulate the world champion USA, but also the runner-up Australia and the bronze medal winner Japan, but also both other teams, Netherlands and Spain. A last word to the LSE, which made this event possible, and for most of us, unforgettable. Please, Carlos and Ismael, come here. Carlos, this small present during the final of the men's, so I give this one to Ismael. A big applause for both of these and all the your staff. Before I want to my speech, I want to have attention to the female development camp. The OC also hosted next to the men's and women's World Cup. All players that have the dream to also represent the country at the World Cup. I hope that the final game they visited gave enthusiastic players the inspiration to continue their training and to follow their ambitions and dreams. Finally, I hope you all have a safe journey home and enjoy your achievements and memories. And I hope we will meet again in the next competition. Thank you. Thank you, the legend representative of the IFCPF. Now we'll go with the medals of the development camp. A continuación haremos entrega de las medallas del Development Camp. Easy now, no need to go down. Easy now, no need to go down. Rock that drum, like the smell of drum. Catalonia, Denmark, and footballers from England. Let's take a picture all together. Now let's go with the medal ceremony. The best goalkeeper goes to Kate Smith. of Cerro Paradise. Now let's go with the top scorer. Is to Georgia Belkov. He takes a picture with Carmina Blay, territory representative of Sport Victoria, one of the General Secretariat of the Sport. And the MVP goes to Catalina Guimaraes. She takes a picture with the legend representative of the IFCPF. Now let's go with the third position. It goes to Japan. We've got illustrious Mr. Carlos, hello, Mr. Carlos, President of the IFCPF, Carmina Blay, Pena Guardiola, President of the Catalan. Position, Japan. Now in second place, Australia. champions, United States of America. The trophy is given by Mr. Pere Granados.
Well, as we see the United States, the first ever IFCPF Women's World Cup winners, lifting their trophy. And you can't say it hasn't been well deserved. A credit to all 10 of their players and the coaching staff, the background staff. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes at this tournament, and they are very well deserving victors. You can see Japan there picking up third place earlier in the day, defeating the Netherlands 4-1, and all three teams getting in the final photo of the tournament. Piney, what a day it's been, a historic day for women's CP football. Can you summarise it at all for us?
Just special. Special is all I've is the only word I have for this. This is special in what it means for them, special in what it means for everybody else, special in what it means for those countries, and special for what it means for disabled sport and disabled para football going forward. I think this is only the beginning for the girls and for the girls tournament, and I think it'll just go from strength to strength from here. And I'm glad to say that the CommBank Paramatildas will be a massive part of everything going forward. So well done, girls. Hats off to hats off to you. You did your nation proud.
Absolutely, all 10 players, and I'll go through them once more for those who have stuck around in the broadcast. We have number 1, a goalkeeper Holly Saunders. Number 2, Nicole Christodoulou. Number 3, Talia Blanchard. Number 4, Charlize Tran. Number 5, Lainey Harrison. Number 6, Caitlin Smith, picking up best goalkeeper at the tournament. Number 7, Eloise Northam. Number 8, Matilda Mason. Number 9, Ray Anderson. And finally, last but not least, Golden Boot, number 10, Georgia Bykoff. An extraordinary group of players and an extraordinary team. And can you sum it up for us?
It's not often you get to be a pioneer. It's not often you get to be one of the first. And this is what this team will always go down in history as. I think Kelly Sturton brought together a fantastic group of players. They played to the game plan. They really didn't have that long together, and this is what they came out with, a silver medal at a World Cup. They would be incredibly proud of themselves. There was lots of family there as well, but even more family on the stream, watching them and supporting them. I think what this is the building blocks, and Talia Blanchett said it best. This is just the beginning. This is just the start for this team. And just even the result here, what that's going to do in terms of being able to empower and inspire a generation of young girls and women and girls who live with disability, they really are going to increase the visibility. And that's going to be so incredibly important to growing the game over the next couple of years, particularly when we have opportunities like the Women's World Cup to talk about all the different ways that people and women and girls can be involved in football.
It is just the beginning. Wise words there, Anne. We will wrap up the coverage here. It's been such a joy to be able to bring you this broadcast of the IFCPF Women's World Cup. I've been Taryn Heddo, and I've been joined today by Chris Pine and Anne O'Dong, and it's been such a pleasure to have your company. Now, unfortunately, this is the last game, so we won't be seeing you in the future, but we hope that you'll keep up to date with CP football and CP women's football. Follow the Paramatildas on all of their socials so you can keep up to date and abreast with what is happening with this team. From all of us here on the broadcast, have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you.